Upper East Tennessee town of Greenville, the centerpiece is a statue of a man grasping his coat, bravely facing southward, who until December was the only president ever impeached. But impeachment is no disgrace to the memory of Andrew Johnson, the nation's 17th president. He was a Southerner who refused to acknowledge Tennessee's place in the Confederacy and ran for vice president with Lincoln during the height of the Civil War.
I suppose that he was probably the most hated man in the South during the Civil War and was very much approved of in the North for standing by the Union when the rest of the South seceded.
When Lincoln was assassinated, Johnson took his place and began to preside over the bitter post-war Reconstruction. Lincoln supporters in the North turned on Johnson, saying he was too easy on the defeated South. When Johnson fired Lincoln's Secretary of War, Edwin Stanton, the House impeached him for violating the Tenure of Office Act. Johnson escaped conviction in the Senate by a single vote.
This is the Andrew Johnson homestead, purchased in 1851 by Andrew Johnson. Lives in the house until his death in 1875.
Andrew Johnson's legacy is unmistakable in his hometown.
When he's the governor of the state of Tennessee, he begins the public school systems.
Its Johnson National Historic Site visitation rose sharply last year, coinciding with another presidential impeachment.
Excuse me.
And within the Johnson Museum, amid the 130-year-old artifacts and depictions of his career, one bit of latter-day historical editing stands out.
The one we're looking at right now, the impeachment, had a statement that said that Andrew Johnson was the first and only president to become impeached. And of course, as of December of '98, that changes with Mr. Clinton being the second president. It's a post-it. It's the sticky part of a post-it.
It's an old South town broad-minded enough to erect a courthouse monument in honor of Union soldiers and generous to its impeached favorite son. And it might give comfort to another embattled president to know that in Greenville there's a bank in Andrew Johnson's name. There's even an Andrew Johnson golf course. And the 17th president's grave is the hilltop monument overlooking the Andrew Johnson National Cemetery. 7 years after surviving impeachment, legend is Johnson was buried with his head resting on a copy of the Constitution, his body wrapped in the U.S. flag.
A real president, one that had the courage of his own convictions in spite of politics. Greenville has the distinction of being a real presidential town.